Every national park has its secrets. Some have missing hikers, others have strange geological anomalies. But here in the Blackwood National Forest, we have the unspoken rules. Rule number 1, if you hear someone screaming for help in a voice you recognize, but you know that person is miles away, you do not answer. You lock your cabin door, you turn off your radio, and you wait for the sun. Most rookies think it's a joke, a hazing ritual. I thought so too, until I spent a night in Sector 4. Now I don't look in mirrors anymore, because the thing out there, it's a fast learner, and it's looking for a new face. My name is Elias. I've been a ranger for 5 years. My job is simple: maintain the trails, watch for fires, and make sure tourists don't feed the bears. But Sector 4 is different. It's a dense, ancient part of the forest, where the GPS fails and the birds stop singing by 4 p.m. It started on a Tuesday. I was stationed at Watchtower 9. The air was thick with the smell of ozone and rotting pine. Around 1:30 a.m., my radio hissed to life. Steady voice on radio. Elias, are you there? It's cold. I'm near the creek. Please help me. My blood turned to ice. That was Sarah's voice, my fiancée. But Sarah wasn't in the park. She was 300 miles away in Seattle, sleeping in our apartment. I grabbed the radio, my hand shaking. Sarah, I whispered. The voice replied instantly, but the timing was off. It was too fast, too perfect. Voice on radio. Sarah, I whispered. Come to the creek, Elias. I found something beautiful. I didn't go. I sat there with my grip on my shotgun until my knuckles turned white. But the next morning, when I checked the radio logs, there was no record of any transmission. 2 days later, a family of 4 went missing near the Devil's Throat, a deep ravine in Sector 4. We found their tent. It was shredded from the inside out. No blood, no struggle, just empty. My supervisor, a grizzled man named Miller, who'd been in the woods since the 70s, looked at the tent and turned pale. Don't go out after dark, Elias, he warned. If you hear them calling, just keep walking. Who is the Miller? I asked. He didn't answer. He just looked at the tree line with a 1,000-yard stare and walked away. That evening, I was patrolling the perimeter of the ravine. The sun was dipping below the horizon, casting long, skeletal shadows across the forest floor. That's when I saw her, a little girl, maybe 6 years old, sitting on a mossy log. She was wearing a bright yellow raincoat, the same one the missing daughter had been wearing. Hey, sweetie, are you okay? I shouted, running toward her. She didn't move. She didn't even flinch. As I got closer, I realized why. Her head was tilted at an angle that would have snapped a human neck. She was staring at a tree, whispering something. I reached out to touch her shoulder. Honey, let's get you back to. She turned, but she didn't have eyes. Where her eyes should have been, there were just 2 deep black pits. And when she opened her mouth to speak, it wasn't a child's voice. It was Miller's voice, my supervisor's voice. I told you not to go out after dark, Elias. Then, she unhinged her jaw, not like a human, like a snake. Her mouth kept opening until it reached her chest. I stumbled back, tripping over a root. The girl didn't run. She folded. Her limbs snapped and rearranged themselves. She grew taller, thinner, her skin stretching over her bones like wet parchment. Within seconds, she wasn't a girl anymore. She was a pale, 7-foot-tall monstrosity, with limbs that were far too long. It began to mimic the sounds of the forest. First a crow, then a barking dog, and finally, the sound of my own mother's laughter. I scrambled to my feet and ran. I've never run faster in my life. I could hear it behind me. It wasn't heavy footfalls. It sounded like someone clicking 2 dry sticks together. Click, click, click. I burst into my cabin and slammed the door, bolting every lock. I sat on the floor, gasping for air. Then the scratching started. Not on the door, on the walls. Elias, let me in. It's cold out here. I'm scared, Elias. It was a perfect copy of my voice. The same pitch, the same stutter I have when I'm nervous. It was talking to itself using my memories. Do you remember the yellow raincoat? Do you remember Sarah? I'm going to go see Sarah now. I think she'll like my new face. I realized then what it was doing. It wasn't just killing people, it was harvesting them. It was learning how to be us, piece by piece, voice by voice. The scratching stopped around 4 a.m. When the sun finally rose, I packed my bags and drove. I didn't tell Miller. I didn't tell the police. They wouldn't believe me anyway. They'd just call it forest psychosis. I drove straight to Seattle. I needed to see Sarah. I needed to know she was safe. I reached our apartment at midnight. I burst through the door, calling her name. Sarah, thank God you're okay, I cried, hugging her. She laughed and held me tight. Elias, you're shaking. What happened at the park? I started to tell her. I told her about the voices, the girl in the yellow raincoat, the thing that stole my voice. She listened patiently, stroking my hair. It's okay now, she whispered. You're home. You're safe. I pulled back to look at her, and that's when I felt it. Her hand on my back. Her fingers, they felt too long. I looked down at her feet. She wasn't wearing shoes, and her toes, they were pointed backward. I looked into her eyes. They were Sarah's eyes, but there was no person behind them. Just an empty, hollow hunger. Sarah, I whispered. She smiled. It was a perfect smile, but she had too many teeth. Way too many teeth. Sarah, I whispered. She repeated, mimicking me perfectly. Then she leaned in and whispered into my ear in a voice that sounded like 1,000 dying crows. You have a very nice face, Elias. I think I'll keep it. I'm writing this from the bathroom. I've locked the door. I can hear her. It's scratching on the wood outside. My phone has no signal. If you find this, if you ever hear me calling for help from the woods, or even from your own front door, don't answer. It's not me. It hasn't been me for a long time.